Banff, Alberta. For students of the arts, the setting is a source of inspiration. Their college, high in the Rockies, their campus in the clouds.
People often say to me, don't you find it difficult to get students to work at Banff in the summertime? They're somewhat surprised when I say, on the contrary, our problem is to keep them from getting into too much. They want to do everything. If you want to see some concentrated effort and some real hard work, let's take a look in on Brian Macdonald's class.
Anna Marie, Juliet, Margot, Dean, Shirley, Sarah, Stephanie, Jennifer,
David Holmes, how's the Royal Winnipeg Ballet?
Very busy right now.
Hello. You're new here, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Donna Kirkbride.
And where are you from, Donna?
Calgary.
Have you studied jazz very much before?
No, very little.
Well, now, you take it easy in the first class, will you? Eloise, how nice to
Hello.
see you again. Did you get your scholarship?
Yes, I did.
You must like Banff very much to come back here every year.
Oh, I think it's wonderful. It's the atmosphere and all these mountains that make you feel like pulling up and really being a dancer.
Well, in you go and pull up, and we'll start some work. All right, here we go. Ready, arms wide apart, and one.
Very early in the game, my teacher asked me to get a studio for a visiting company in Montreal, and I crept into the theater, and they happened to be rehearsing a ballet of Mr. Balanchine's Concerto Barocco, and I went up to the balcony and I watched this piece. It was sort of in the early part of the afternoon, and after that I walked out into the sun outside of the theater, and I thought, my life has changed. This is what I'm going to do. I enjoy the silence of dance. I love the fact that dance can say so many things that reverberate in the spectator's head, and I love the fact that words say so many other things. And perhaps it's left brain, right brain. I have no idea how those are connected, but the precision of words always appealed to me a great deal. But the imprecision of dancing, the fact that a dancer can make a gesture that you question and that reverberates in your head in a purely visual way that has emotional resonances in you. And the older I get, the more I discover the hugeness of dance, the number of things that can be said without words. I find it of infinite variety.
I spent 4 years in the Banff School of Fine Arts program, and each year Brian was there. I remember when he initially choreographed, which is one of his more famous ballets, Aimez-vous Bach. I was too young, obviously, to be in it at that time, but when they brought it back a couple of years later, I was in it, and I remember the excitement of actually being in one of his pieces and how very much that meant to me. Interestingly enough, Brian has kind of been a red thread through my life, a leitmotif, as the Germans would say. We keep touching base, we keep meeting each other, and it was actually under Brian's auspices later on that I came back to teach at the Banff School of Fine Arts. So I've always had a kind of relationship with the school, the Banff School of Fine Arts, which I've always cherished and revered, and with Brian as well. So he's been a very integral and very important part of my life, and I can't thank him enough for being the spark that lit the fire that has become my life.
Brian, we're all very much in your debt, all of us, artists, audiences, creators, the whole range of population. You've vastly enriched the whole cultural scene in Canada over your lifetime, and it's a wonderful, wonderful contribution that you've made.
Brian is certainly, first and foremost, a Canadian. He doesn't just deal with Canadians. He realizes that creativity is happening all over the world. But he wants to bring that out in a Canadian flavor and with Canadian content and with Canadian actors and dancers. And I think he's been very formative in the whole concept of Canadian culture.
This summer is the first time that I've worked with Brian in a creation where he's creating a work on me and other dancers. And in that particularly, what sets him apart from any choreographer I've ever worked with is his huge respect for the artist. He's able to let go of any ego or anything that many choreographers may hold too closely to themselves in order to recognize that the artists can draw upon their experience and their knowledge and even their intuition to take what he sees in his head a step further. So it feels more like a collaboration probably than it has with any other choreographer. Even though he's very clear with what he wants, he recognizes us in such a way that I think we all end up feeling like we have contributed something in the process.
I came here in '93 as a corps member, not having the confidence to do what I knew I could do. I could feel it was in me. And Brian was able to bring that out of me. He inspired me to be a better artist. And I've come back since '93, and I've had my faith in dance renewed because of Brian. I often lose faith in our art. Sometimes the people we cross, sometimes myself, but Brian has always renewed that faith in me and has allowed me to grow as a dancer, to get where I wanted to be, and I don't think I would ever have gotten there without Brian's help.
In a sense, I think he's been the father figure in my dance career. Most definitely. And I don't know, how do you thank somebody for that? You just keep on dancing in his ballets because you love him so much and you respect how much he gives and how much passion he has for our craft.
It's great to see him sometimes just wander off into the corner and he'd listen to the music and make some little magic moment happen, and then he'd come back with a new inspiration and he'll explain it to us, and he has a wonderful way of getting his idea across.
He's very musical and always sensitive to the structure of the music, of course the rhythmic impulse, and the colors of the music. He seems to be able to portray that through the dance.
What a marvelous time we've had together for such a long collaboration on various projects, and how wonderful it's been for me to come and see how he and Annette have taken pieces of mine and turned them into another form and done it in such a beautiful and natural manner. And it's been such a treat because I know that he understands Canadian music. I know he understands music of all kinds, but I know that he's been especially understanding of our music, and he's always tried to include it on his programs, in his choreographies. He's thought it out in a way that no other choreographer in this country has done, and they've been glorious times.
Brian tells a story like nobody else. And I think this ability to tell a story is something that permeates his work. It permeates everything. It permeates the way he works with people, the way he teaches. It permeates the things that he choreographs, his own abilities as a performer. I think a lot of the things about Brian that inspire me have to do with that kind of communication.
I believe that Annette and Brian are not only married as a couple, but married as artists. They support each other, they have a dream, and they work towards this dream together. And they include us on this trip, which brings us into their dreams, into their goals, and we want to help them realize this dream. Brian's dream in Banff is wonderful, and there would not be a program here if it wasn't for this man's tenacity. He has brought dance to this area, he has maintained it, he has fed so many dancers throughout his life, and I'm very happy to be one of them.
We love you, Brian.